Hello and welcome to the CENELEC Committee Expert Training Module 3B. This module is designed for NSAI technical experts who are following the work of CENELEC technical committees. We will identify how to find the documents you need to take part in the NSAI technical committee. Next slide. Today you will learn how to navigate and use the CENELEC website, how to download documents from the CENELEC website, how to find your way around the Projex-online website to access documents, and how to complete the commenting template. Next slide. The CENELEC website is accessed on www.cenelec.eu. This will bring you to the CENELEC homepage shown here. Along the top of this page is a menu where one of the options to select is About CENELEC. When you hover the mouse pointer on About CENELEC, you will get a drop-down menu, and within this menu you should click to select Technical Work. Next slide. This will bring you to a new web page. Scroll down on this page to see the list of CENELEC technical committees. From here you can find your way to any CENELEC technical committee and subcommittee homepage. On this homepage you are able to see the number of publications which each committee have produced. You can see the number of work programs which each committee is involved in, and if the committee has produced a strategic business plan, you will be able to open a PDF version of the strategic business plan here. If you click on the committee number, you will be brought to the homepage for that committee. Next slide. Here is an example of a committee homepage where you can see 4 more tabs providing more information on the committee. The General tab is where you will find the scope of the committee. The Structure tab shows the subcommittees and working groups that form the committee. The Work Programme tab shows the list of work items that are currently active in the work programme. The Published Standards tab shows the list of standards published by the technical committee to date. Next slide. The Structures tab can be very useful to understand the structure of the technical committee. It is within the Structures tab that you can see what subcommittees and/or working groups have been formed, and by clicking on the working group name you will be brought to that working group's homepage. Next slide. The Work Programme tab will show you what work is being carried out within the committee. If you select the project reference, you will be brought to the detailed work programme for that project. The Published Standards tab gives you the list of standards which the committee has published and provides the publication date. Next slide. To access documents which are open for vote, you need to go to the CENELEC Expert area. This is done by selecting the My Expert area on the top right of the page. This will give you a drop-down menu where you can select the CENELEC Expert area. Next slide. In the CENELEC Expert area, you'll have access to a number of different platforms. The collaboration platform is used to distribute committee documents. The electronic voting platform shows lists of open ballots for CENELEC technical committees. The Projex-online platform, which is the CENELEC database for all work items developed by technical committees. The Expert Management System, which is the database for all nominated experts, provides access for technical committee documents. In the next few slides we will look at 2 of these platforms, the electronic voting system and the Projex-online platform. Next slide. When you select the electronic voting page, you'll be asked for login details, where you must re-enter your username and password. These are provided when you signed up as an NSAI expert. Next slide. This area shows the full list of open votes per technical committee, which you can filter by clicking on the drop-down arrow and selecting the committee of interest to you. If there are no open votes, then the committee will not be listed. Next slide. It is important to note that it is up to the individual expert to monitor open vote documents and to notify the standards officer if you wish to make a submission on a vote. As an expert, you must inform NSAI of any inputs on votes well in advance of any closing date deadlines. NSAI has a default voting position that is used, which is abstain unless otherwise advised. For more information on the default voting procedure, check with your standards officer. Next slide. Once you have located your committee, you will have 2 options for accessing voting documents. The first option is that there will be a PDF document in the Downloads column on the right, allowing you to click and download. This is the simplest way to access documents. The second option is a link that will bring you to the Projex-online database to access documents. This is the work item database for every standard developed by CENELEC. Accessing the documents from this database requires a few more steps. You should take note of the project number at this stage, as you will need this to be able to retrieve the required documents in the Project-online database. Next slide. The Project-online database can be accessed from the CENELEC Expert area. When you select Project-online, you should have access with single sign-in, but you may be asked to log in with your usual login details. Once logged into the Project-online platform, you will see the area to enter your project number, or the work item number under Quick Search. This is the number you noted on previous slides. Enter this number in the box shown and select Submit. Next slide. This will bring up current information on the database for this project. There is a lot of information on this project in this area, but for now we are only interested in accessing the relevant documents open for vote. To access the relevant documents, you will see a prompt on the top right of the screen, Access to Current Documents. Click this box. Next slide. Here we select the relevant PDF document to review from the list. This platform has multi-language versions, but the English language version is usually indicated by an E at the end of the document name, for example, ENQ1E. Word and PDF versions are available on this platform for download. If you wish to vote or comment on a document, then you need to complete the commenting template. Next slide. This slide shows the commenting template, which you can access as part of the ballot, or you can request the form from your standards officer. It is important not to edit or change the format of this table in any way, as it can cause problems when uploading the template on the balloting system. Please ensure you use the default fonts and leave the columns at their defined widths. We will now cover how to complete this template. Next slide. This slide shows how to fill in the comment template. Start by filling in the date, the document and project if known. This helps identify what document you are commenting on. Next is the member body or national committee column. For international votes, Ireland is indicated by the two-letter code IE. At national level, you may wish to include your initials or company name, so your standard officer knows who made the submission. The next three columns help to track where in the document you are making a comment. If line numbers are in the document, please refer to them in the line number column. The clause or subclause and paragraph number or table reference should be listed to help track and trace your comment. The next column indicates the type of comment, and there are only three categories: general, technical or editorial. A footnote at the end of the comment table provides further information. The next two columns are very important and must be completed. The comments column is where you outline the issue you may have with the wording of a standard, and the proposed change column is where you suggest new wording. If no new wording is provided, then the drafters may choose to ignore the comment, so it is important to provide a suggested change. The last column is left blank for the Secretariat of the Technical Committee. Next slide. In this slide, we highlight good practices to consider when completing the template. That is, to make sure you comment on the correct draft and include the correct documents reference. You can check this in the Open Ballot platform. Use line number references if included in the draft. Be specific regarding clause numbers, figures and table references, etc. that you are commenting on. Provide alternative text for proposed change if you want something considered for change. Classify your comment type as follows: General, GE, Technical, TE, Editorial, ED. If you are not satisfied with the contents, then consider voting against the draft and provide rationale in comments. Next slide. When submitting a vote or ballot, there are a number of stages that NSAI have to perform. Your comments may be one of many, so it is important that the National Secretary or NSAI Standards Officer reviews all the inputs received and resolves any conflicting input. National committees should work towards consensus on ballot inputs. NSAI will then submit the ballot or vote in line with the agreed position of the committee. If no input is received, a default position is taken by NSAI, which is generally abstain, depending on the stage of development. At the international level, all comments submitted as part of a vote are collated and distributed as a committee document. These are reviewed and considered for inclusion in the development of the next draft. Experts who attend international meetings should ensure Ireland's comments are considered as part of any redrafting. This process continues until consensus is agreed before progressing to the next stage. Next slide. Thank you for completing this module on navigating the CENELEC Technical Committee website and accessing documents. For more information on standards and for other modules on standardization, please see our Learning Centre on the NSAI website nsai.ie.